As a codependent, suffering from relentless self-criticism, we live in continual response to others. Our creative and intellectual power is stolen from us, and we live our lives for other people, which creates resentment and anger. Being afraid to express our opinion in fear that someone won't agree with us, or telling the truth because you might hurt someone's feelings, are two examples of how we don't honor ourselves because of the fear of disappointing another or not having the right answer. This is what codependence is all about: the internal dialogue of self-criticism and judgment, the fear of making a mistake, the horror of hurting someone's feelings keeps us walking on eggs. For nearly 2 decades, I've been helping people to overcome these issues.
In working with Marlene and her program Beyond 12-Step, I have learned personal transformation. I've learned the importance of being mindful, of being responsible for your actions, for setting boundaries. I've learned the importance of being non-judgmental. I've learned that anything that is not nurturing is abuse. I thank you, Marlene.
I am honestly a completely different person right now, sitting here on this stool, than I was driving around looking to kill myself. And I had very little faith in life, in the universe, and everything. And I just really didn't like who I was. I didn't like how I was acting and what I was doing on the day-to-day and where my life seemingly was headed, and and who I was. I didn't like anything about myself. I didn't like how I looked and any of that. And it's quite the opposite today. And it took a long time, though. It wasn't just like, oh, realizing, I have all this stuff going on with me, but it was doing work to change certain brain patterns that had been with me throughout my whole life. Probably the most significant is learning to distinguish when I am in my head and when I am present and fully here. That is the biggest thing. I previously was living life just in my head and had no idea that there was any other way to live, honestly. And after seeing Marlene, I understood that I don't have to always be in my head all the time. There's another way to look at life and to enjoy life rather than looking at it as this, suffering, cyclical thing. I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard to put this experience that I've had into words because it's been so experiential. The experiential knowledge I've gained, rather than informational knowledge, it's more tools to be able to go through life on the day-to-day and live more happily. And that is something that I never did and didn't even think was a possibility. And it's made me more authentic and genuine with more specifically with myself, rather than just with other people necessarily. Having true and authentic conversation with myself and being real with me instead of just the outside world, which I'm working on that.
So what brought me to Marlene? Relationship issues, for sure. Codependency issues. I have been involved in codependency support groups, and I was attracted to the fact that Marlene does beyond codependency, beyond 12 steps. I was ready to deal with more. What I got was that I wasn't getting in the groups was I needed that one-on-one attention to really delve into some of my inner child issues, go back to some of the family of origin stuff. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like I have dealt with a lot of those childhood wounds that I feel like my inner child, my little girl's not running the show as much, that my adult is more on board. I feel like she has helped me integrate that little girl with the adult so that I can come from a more adult place. Helping me make better decisions from an adult place in my life, and also be able to show up as an adult in my relationships. I just love Marlene. I think that she's great. I feel like she really identifies with some of the issues that I've gone through, has a lot of her own experience to share. I love that she is also working with my son and can, identify with different age groups, different demographics, that she can work with different populations, not just, one specific age group or demographic. I just have loved working with Marlene. I believe that she really knows what she's doing, knows her stuff, comes from a 12-step background, knows codependency issues, has dealt with her own issues, can really relate to the things that I've dealt with. She's also been working with my son, and I've seen incredible changes in him, so I love that she is able to work with different populations, not just one demographic, that she can transcend different age spans, which I think is quite an unusual technique, talent to have.